Most homeowners don't realize they have roof problems until it's too late. Today we're going to talk about Campo's 25-point comprehensive roof inspection. At Campo Roof, every home receives our free 25-point inspection. This allows us to really understand your home and put together the right plan. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's get started. Today, we're going to start with the most important aspect of the 25-point Campo inspection, and that is the attic inspection. What we're going to be doing there is looking for things that we may not be able to find when we're looking from the roof down. We're going to be looking for hidden leaks, signs of moisture, proper ventilation, proper bath fan exhaust, and insulation levels. All right, let's get started. Okay, now we are up in the attic space, and boy, do we see some issues here. One of the first items that we're going to look at is these nail tips that are through the decking, adhering the shingles to the roof surface. As you can see that they are completely rusted, and there is mold growing around each one of these. This is a sure sign for high levels of inner air humidity. Also, we see here we have a full bath fan that was never actually connected. And this is where you're going to see a very, very large concentration of mold. It is very important that we get this moisture-laden air outside of the conditioned attic space. Because remember, when we have heat, organic material, low lighting, and moisture, we now have a perfect breeding ground for mold. So this is one of the most important items that I like to show homeowners when I get into their attic. If they have a traditional drywall access cover, what we look at is the top side of it, and what we can see here is moisture. Now this moisture is not from outside rain. What is happening is heated, moisture-laden air is coming into the attic space, and it's condensating on the nail tips, and it's dripping below. It's almost like your attic space is a rainforest. So when we were inside the attic, one of the main items that we were trying to verify is correct ventilation or a balanced system. That consists of intake from your lower section of your roof, most commonly a vented soffit panel, and the exhaust at the peak of the roof. The idea is for the cool exchange air to come in, regulate the temperature, and escape as hot air at the peak. In the wintertime, if we don't have proper ventilation, what happens is we heat the home, the heat rises to the peak of the roof, the snow melts, as it gets to the gutter edge, it freezes. That cycles over and over again, and that's how we get ice dams, which are very prevalent in Northeast Ohio. So now that we are up in the attic, you see how important it is. If I had not gotten into this attic, I would have no idea about any of these underlying issues. Look at all this mold on this sheathing. So as we can see, there is mold clearly everywhere inside of this attic space, and there's also evidence of animal intrusion here on the insulation. While we're looking at the insulation, I'd also like to note that these look like the attic is greatly under-insulated. For our climate, we're going to recommend R38 to R60. So it's extremely important to get in the attic because it tells a story that we're not able to really identify from looking down on the roof surface. Remember, when heat rises, it brings moisture with it, and that moisture moves into the attic space via osmosis. And if you don't have a proper evacuation system, you now have heat, organic material, low lighting, and moisture, which is a perfect breeding ground for mold. Now that I'm done with the attic inspection, I'm going to grab my ladder and we're going to complete the inspection from the roof. Now that we're on the roof surface, we're going to take a closer look at the shingles. We're looking for missing or damaged shingles, which in this area I don't see any. We're also going to be looking for any cracked or broken shingles. We're going to be checking the integrity of the seal of the shingle to make sure it's still in place and secured. You can see this one is not. We're also going to be taking a closer look at the shingle surface because the granules are what keeps the asphalt in the shingle from failing. So when we have heavy granule loss, which we do here, it's a sure sign that the roof is going to need to be replaced. One of the most important things we try to determine is the condition of the roof system as a whole. What I'm going to be doing now is checking to see how many layers are present on the roof. I do that by simply lifting the shingles and trying to see if there's another layer underneath. Right here, there's not. And also, I can verify that this roof does have a starter shingle installed, but it does not have a sealant, which is why these shingles are so easy to lift here. I've noticed a raised shingle here, and it looks like it's because the drip edge, which is currently installed on the rake edge and the gutter edge, is not correctly installed, and it's causing the shingle to lift. As you see here, we have actually a small piece of shingle missing. And when we run our shingles into a vertical termination, there needs to be some sort of flashing that comes down to shed water onto the shingles. As you can see here, we're clearly missing the apron flashing. Shingles protect from top to bottom, but not left to right. So when you hit a wall, there is a little piece of metal called a step flashing that alternates with each shingle as it goes up the wall, and then it's covered with whatever veneer that is on your home. Here it looks like they're in good condition. We're going to do a further assessment once we tear into this roof. One of the most common failures we see on a roof is improperly driven fasteners. As we can see here, this fastener was underdriven and it has now worked itself out through the face of the shingle. Not only is this a fastener failure, but the shingle has also experienced tremendous granule loss, and you can clearly see the fiberglass mat is exposed. This shingle is well past its service life. Now we're going to take a look at some of these penetrations. Right here we have a soil stack. Looks to be 3-inch. And on our inspection checklist, this would definitely be a fail. As you can see, the nails are coming out. It's past its service life. Right next to it, we have a 6-inch kitchen exhaust damper vent. Looks to be in pretty good shape, so that would be a pass. But if we did end up replacing the entire roof, this would have to be replaced as well. Here we have a skylight. This skylight looks to be maybe original to the house. It's definitely discontinued. I'm going to take a measurement because it's going to need to be replaced. Also, the fasteners here, no one ever applied any sealant to them, so they're corroding. And this chimney is also in pretty poor condition. You know, you can see the flashing has become no longer correctly adhered. I actually see a clear path for water and some damaged wood on the inside. And then when we take a closer look at this masonry chimney, we see that the mortar joints are starting to fail, and the crown at the top is also cracked and in need of replacement. The chimney caps look like they're in good shape and they're secured properly. On the last leg of the inspection, we're going to be taking a look at the ridge vent at the peak of the roof here and make sure it's exhausting properly. We're going to be taking a look at the gutters. We're going to make sure the gutters are in good condition. We're going to make sure that they are sloped properly to achieve positive drainage. We're also going to make sure that they're properly fastened and secured. While I'm here, I'm also going to be taking a look at the fascia board, the condition of the fascia board, and also I'm going to be taking a look at the soffit to make sure that it is vented and in good condition. I also noted that there is a large tree with a couple branches hanging on the roof that's very detrimental to the roof surface. The reason we do these inspections is because we really want to understand your home and what needs to be done. It's really important for you to have this information so you can make an educated decision on protecting your biggest investment, your home. At Campo, our team inspects your home inside and out, giving you peace of mind and a plan to protect your home. Reach out to Campo to schedule your free 25-point inspection.